It was a cold, moonlit night when five friends, Emma, Jake, Sarah, Mike, and Lily, arrived at the abandoned Blackwood Asylum. The towering, decrepit building loomed over them, its broken windows like hollow eyes staring into their souls. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the crunch of dead leaves beneath their feet. The heavy iron gate creaked open as Jake pushed it, the sound echoing into the void. They stepped inside, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness. The air smelled of damp wood and decay. The walls were covered in peeling paint, and the floor was littered with debris. It felt as if the asylum was alive, watching their every move. As they explored the first hallway, Sarah noticed something strange. A child's doll lying on the floor, its glassy eyes reflecting the flashlight beam. It was pristine, untouched by dust, as if placed there moments ago. A chill ran down her spine as she whispered, "This doesn't feel right." Suddenly, faint whispers filled the air, coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. The friends froze, their flashlights darting around the room. The whispers grew louder, forming words. "Leave, before it's too late." Mike clenched his fists, trying to appear brave, but his trembling hands betrayed him. As they turned a corner, Emma's flashlight caught a shadowy figure at the end of the hallway. It stood motionless, its form distorted and unnatural. Before anyone could react, it vanished into thin air, leaving behind a faint, echoing laugh. They stumbled upon an old patient's room, its door slightly ajar. Inside, the walls were covered in frantic scribbles, names, dates, and the repeated phrase, "They're still here." A rusted bed frame stood in the corner, its mattress stained and torn. Lily noticed a pair of glasses on the floor, still intact, as if someone had just dropped them. As they left the room, the sound of footsteps echoed behind them. They spun around, but the hallway was empty. The footsteps grew louder, faster, as if someone or something was chasing them. Panic set in as they ran, the sound following them relentlessly. In a dusty, cracked mirror, Jake caught a glimpse of a figure standing behind him. He turned, but no one was there. When he looked back at the mirror, the figure was still there, its hollow eyes staring directly at him. It smiled, a twisted, unnatural grin. They found a door at the end of the hallway, its surface covered in deep scratches. It was locked, but something on the other side was pounding against it, desperate to get out. The friends backed away, their hearts racing as the pounding grew louder and more frantic. In a dusty office, they discovered an old journal. The entry spoke of experiments, madness, and patients who never left. The final entry read, "They're not dead, they're waiting." As Sarah read the words aloud, the temperature in the room dropped and the lights flickered. A ghostly figure materialized before them, its translucent form glowing faintly. It was a young woman in a tattered hospital gown, her eyes filled with sorrow. She reached out, her mouth moving as if to speak, but no sound came out. Then she vanished, leaving behind a cold breeze. As they tried to leave, the hallway behind them began to collapse, the walls crumbling and the floor giving way. They ran, the sound of destruction echoing in their ears. The asylum seemed determined to keep them trapped. In the main hall, they were surrounded by shadowy figures, their forms shifting and twisting. The whispers returned, louder now, chanting, "Stay with us." The friends stood back to back, their flashlights the only defense against the encroaching darkness. With a burst of courage, they made a run for the exit, the shadows clawing at them as they fled. The asylum seemed to scream in anger, the walls shaking and the air filled with a deafening roar. They burst through the doors, collapsing onto the grass outside. As they caught their breath, they noticed something strange, a faint, ghostly handprint on Emma's shoulder. The asylum stood silent behind them, but they knew they hadn't escaped unscathed. Some patients never truly leave.